What's up, everybody? It's Make It Make Sense, and today we're gonna have a talk about political correctness because I feel like we're moving in a direction where we might be too politically correct, and we're not even looking at the bigger picture. But I do want to start with this.
The grave you dig for me, you better dig a double one because you'll fall in it first.
Y'all go ahead and hit that like button while the intro plays.
Make it make sense.
Make it make sense to me intellectually.
Make it make sense. You know what was up. His name is Make It Make Sense. When he makes nothing make sense.
Surfer. Make it make sense. Tell me how you squeeze it. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things that you say. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things of your dreams. Hey, let me work out all the things in between. Make it make sense. Tell me how you squeeze it. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things that you say. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things of your dreams. Hey, let me work out all the things in between. Make it make sense.
Been to a lot of Diddy parties. I know. And ain't none of them had no dirty shit happening at them. All that happening with Diddy is a conspiracy, y'all. Ain't been like, first off, ain't been to no parties where
A few moments later.
asses are being taken in ways that nobody can.
Okay, y'all. So we're gonna have to make this one a quick video. Where to start? I was given some shout outs the other day of people who are moving in the right direction. Somebody I forgot to mention was Katie from Real Housewives of Potomac. She shouted me out the other day and, let me know that she is in rehab and working on herself. I don't know if shouted out is the right word, but she tagged me in her post about rehab. So, anybody who is taking the steps to get on a better path, I'm here for it. So, shout out to her. Also, we're going to talk about Audrea English because I feel like we're going to be getting some more truths out of her. I want to wrap up Courtney, Adria, Lamesha, and hopefully we start getting more and more truths. But I want to do something a little bit different. I've been talking to a lot of people about political correctness recently, and I really want to share this with you. This was a joke that was like super viral a long time ago. I'm going to play it, and I want to know what you guys actually think about it in real time, in present day. I'm sure some of you are going to know it. Some of you might not, but it gets us into actually having talks about, are we too politically correct, or is this something that should have never been put out there? So we're going to start with this joke. Where is it? I know I have it up here somewhere. Let's do this. Okay.
It's a place called Beautiful Nail. I was kind of confused when I first read the sign, though. Beautiful Nail. Just one. Just one nail. Do I get to pick which one? Or no? Now with these ladies, they're so nice. They make you feel like it's all about you and customer service. Whatever you like, we do for you. Really nice, yeah. As soon as I walk in, they greet me right away. Hi, honey, what you need today? Oh, can I get my nails done? Okay, honey, do you lie pedicure too? No, just my nails. Honey, why you don't lie? Pedicure, it may look nice, it's so sexy. It's better for you. Oh, Oh, all right, sure. Then I'll get a pedicure too. Thanks. Okay, honey, sit down. Number 6, my Ling. She do for you. Good job. Only $20 more. That's okay. Sit down. Oh, okay. Thanks. So my Ling starts doing my nails right away. By the way, her American name is Tammy. Tammy. You have boyfriend? No, I don't have a boyfriend. Honey, why you don't have? You look so pretty, like model, cheerleader, something pretty. You like long or short nail? Short nails, please, thanks. Oh, honey, that's why you don't have a boyfriend. I do for you, long better. All right, fine, I'll have long nails, thanks. It's okay, honey, only $4 more, that's okay. Do you like crystal gel? What? Do you like crystal gel? I'm sorry. What? Honey, do you like crystal gel for your nail? It's the best thing you can have for your nail. Make look nice. It sparkle like diamond in the sky. Do you like crystal gel? Oh, no, I don't want crystal that. Thanks. Honey, you say to me you do not have boyfriend. I don't want to help you. Oh, okay, fine. I'll have some. Thank you. It's okay, and it's better for you. Only $6 more. Open it. Go wash your hand. All right. Thanks, Tammy. Oh, wait. Hold on. This one here is a little bit crooked. See that? No, honey, that your finger do like that. That's
Okay, anyway. So the poll says it looks like 90% think it's, oh no, we got 87% think it's funny, 13% think it's politically incorrect and not funny. The point of this was, where are we at as a society? There was a joke that Chris Rock told, and it was about Luigi, the dude who unalived the United Healthcare CEO. And it was to mixed reaction. So I started asking people, have we reached a point where we are too politically incorrect? Or have we just evolved to the point where this stuff isn't funny? So there's no right or wrong answers, but I'm going somewhere with this. Christy says, we are too politically correct now. It's preventing comedians from being authentic. Again, there's no right or wrong answers. I did go and I did see a lot of Vietnamese people who talked about the fact that her accent is extremely close to their accent. And I've seen a lot of people who are Asian say that they don't have a problem with it, but that's really not the point. The point is, where are we in society where nothing can be funny, or if you are talking about another race, another ethnicity, another sex, another gender, have we reached a point where we're too politically correct? Just something to think about. Mummy says punching down is never funny. There's a difference. Somebody says too soon to joke. Oh, Mama Nigeria says it's too soon to joke like that. So the point is, let's get into this. We got a couple people that I want to talk about. I think the quicker one is gonna be the young Braxton kid. Now, this came out, and I'm going to have some politically incorrect things to say about it. So just FYI, this is one of the Braxton nieces. She has come out with a claim of, I don't know if we can call it abuse per se. I don't know. Y'all will decide what to call it.
Okay, so I want to tell a story today, and that story is about how one of my aunts in my family do not talk to me because they think that I, at the age of 16, did something with her partner at the time. And I have been a nervous wreck to talk about something like this and to tell this story. A, because of my family. B, because I don't want people, it's not to hurt people.
The audio's too low.
But at the same time, I've been working through this so much.
You guys can put in the chat if the audio is too low. I see one person saying it. I only see one person saying it's too low. Put in the chat. Too low? Okay. So we'll do it this way. We'll go old-fashioned. We will go old-fashioned with it. Okay, here we go.
Okay, so I want to tell a story today, and that story is about how one of my aunts in my family do not talk to me because they think that I, at the age of 16, did something with her partner at the time. And I have been a nervous wreck to talk about something like this and to tell this story. A, because of my family. B, because I don't want people, it's not to hurt people to tell my story. But at the same time, I've been working through this so much in therapy. And this is something that goes way deep to my core in terms of worthiness and how I feel about myself. And it's been such a journey. And it's that moment of my life where I have to fully confront it and face it and talk about it, but talk about it because I also want to shed light for the women and the men and anybody who has gone through something like this, where you were underage and something in that sort of manner happened in terms of that sort of word of abuse. And I feel like I have to be careful with what I'm saying here because I don't want to be banned from talking about these situations, but also we kind of have to talk about it. I'm also not very good at storytelling, and I'm new to all this, and I'm also trying to get ready at the same time and tell a story. And I feel like the story is quite complicated and detailed, so bear with me here. But yeah, so one of my aunts does not talk to me because I guess she felt like I did something with her partner at that time. And nothing happened, but I'm going to try to tell the story quickly and also not name any names. And so I was with this aunt for the summer with my sister, and I can't remember how much time had passed since we were there in the summer for a little bit of time to when we got home. And when I think it was my stepmother was going through my phone and she found this conversation, this sort of conversation. And
okay, so already I'm like, we're at a place where she says that this is for therapy, or maybe her therapist suggested this, but she's doing it on a public platform and she's being extremely careful not to name a name. So she's not really saying much of anything. The politically correct thing to say is, if she was a victim of something, she definitely deserves to have her voice heard. However, I told you this ain't going to be politically correct. You are casting a wide net to all of the Braxton sisters and alleging some form of abuse. Without naming a name, you have now placed this on multiple sisters' husbands' backs. And we technically don't know what this is. So I'm trying, but I'm not necessarily getting it.
She showed it to my dad, and my dad called the aunt, and we spoke about it, and we talked about it a little bit. And I remember just a lot of emotions. It was a lot going on. I was 16 at the time, and I'm 32 now. I had to think about it. I'm 32 now. And so, oh my God, it's been 16 years. This is wild. Anyway, okay. So yeah, my aunt was there for me. She was very kind and very nice. I was like, I'm so sorry that this happened to you. Blah, blah, blah.
Butterfly Mama says, Mims, maybe that was the point. They may have shunned her. I absolutely believe that whichever Braxton sister shunned her, I absolutely believe she was telling the truth. But it's the public platform. It's the public platform aspect of this. You don't know it, like this thing spread like wildflower. And I'm not going to lie, the Braxton family's Google hits are not exactly, off the Richter scale. However, when you make claims like this hit every blog, but technically we're not getting a claim. And let's say that one of the other Braxton sisters' husbands who didn't do this to her, or whatever this is, works with children or works in a space where public persona can play a role in whether they get to keep their job or not. It's not necessarily fair. I just think that in the event that you choose to go public, and there are a total of 5 Braxton sisters, right? Trina, Tracy, Tamar, Tony, Tawanda. Okay, so yeah, there's 5 sisters. It's this social media aspect of it. You're not divulging this to your other family members. You're divulging this to the world. And these are real people's lives. As a victim, you have every right to be able to speak your truth. But we're coming to a place where we have to be politically correct at all costs, or you're going to get canceled. For the men in this family who have never done or sent a text message or something to this young lady, the target is still on their back. And somebody says she has her aunt's face. I do think she looks just like Tawanda.
Blah. And not blah, 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 but she was very kind, and it just felt like safe, But then as the years had gone by, it's like that mood and that assumption that I didn't do anything because I was a child was not that assumption anymore. And it boggles my mind because it was like, wait, but if it happened or if it was true, then that would make him, and like, you're okay with that? Like, that's what you would like to hear? And I will just never forget how when I got older, I just realized that I really had to take the time and go back to that part of my life and understand how much feeling of like I didn't matter, that I was.
So for those of you guys just coming in, just to paraphrase, she says she was staying with one of her famous aunts, and the husband of the aunt, or the boyfriend of the aunt, the significant other of the aunt, she was very vague about this. Apparently there was some type of text exchange that her mother did not like that she saw when she went through this girl's phone. The girl was 16 at the time. Before we start saying shit about the girl being a fast ass, I don't care what a 16-year-old does. Just my opinion. If the 16-year-old is doing something with an adult, whether it's a text message, whether it's a touch, whether it's dating, there's a reason that 16 in this country is still considered a child. So the appropriate response, if there was some type of text exchange, whether she initiated it or not, would be for the adult to say, I don't like the way this feels. I don't like the way this is written. I'm going to tell my wife, my girlfriend, and it's up to her to address her brother, and I'm going to cut off contact with this child. I'm making an inference. Just my opinion. It sounds like there was a checks exchange and it was flirty. The mom found out, somebody went off, and then the woman, the Braxton sister, decided to stop talking to her niece as opposed to checking her man. So the niece is coming out saying this, but she is extremely, it's more than cautious. It's like, I'm putting this out to the world. I know this is going to hit the blogs. I don't know if she has any career aspirations to be in entertainment, but this ain't my first rodeo. And at this point, I would not be surprised if she has some aspirations for increasing her audience on TikTok. If a grown man was flirting with you or there was a flirtatious text exchange, is horrible. But I just feel like at this point, if you're going to say it and there are multiple men that it could be, put a name on it. If you're going to tell the media, because that's what this is about. Somebody says she'll be on next season. I hope not. I hope not for this reason. That's exactly where I was going with this. It reminds me of Christian Keys.
Unworthy. It just felt like love from my family was just cut off and gone. And you're like, but wait, that guy? And it made it even worse because it was like, wait, this guy that was doing this to you on TV? And like, it's kind of cohorts in the same spirit of what was happening. Not in the same cohorts, in the same spirit, but like, you know? It's so painful. And I know that the ladies, the men, everybody who has experienced this sort of feeling when your family doesn't believe you, or when you're at an age where you shouldn't.
Somebody said, but Christian was vague so he could get paid. My issue is not that Christian wanted to get paid. My issue is that Christian came to us and said, I don't want this to happen to anybody else. I'm going to go ahead and file a police report, even though the statute of limitations was up. When in actuality, what I've heard he did was take a payment and then go ahead and not necessarily retract the statements, but take that video down. That was an exclusive that I got. Damn, that was a long time ago, earlier this year. But the point is, you use the media, you use the fact that people are in a space where we want victims to have a voice, and then you basically just lie. There was never a police report filed. That was my issue with Christian Keys. Not that he got his money. Go ahead. If you were victimized, get the money. That there's a reason that there are civil lawsuits, but don't use us. Guys, we have over 2,200 in the chat. Definitely hit that like button.
I've ever have been put in that situation to have to navigate it. And however you navigate it was however you navigated it. And this is what I learned in therapy. It's like how I navigated it and how I dealt with it was how I dealt with it. But the most important thing to understand is that I never should have been put in that spot in the first place. And I think that's the devastating part, is that you realize that you didn't ask for that. You know, I did not ask for that. No matter what, I didn't ask for that.
Okay, so again, we're left to make inferences. If her aunt's boyfriend, husband made a pass at her via text, or there was some type of text exchange that they initiated and she just responded to, it does not change the fact that you are doing this this is more than just a therapeutic release of what you went through. This is payback. This is retribution. But don't take payback on all of the sisters, significant others who did not do this to you. When somebody puts that type of anything with a minor, a child, when you put that on a man's back, or you put that on a group of men's back and it was only actually one, that's things that you can't really come back from. And I don't know if maybe she did respond and she feels a way about responding, and that's why she's not really giving the full story, because she wants to minimize what role she might have played in it. You're a child. It really doesn't matter. I don't care what you sent the person. It was their responsibility to alert your parents and move on, if that's the case. This, I don't like it. I don't like it. And I'm a person who really does want to amplify the voice of survivors. But this, I don't know what it is. Somebody said, what did the mama say? Not a damn thing. She reminds me of the person who really doesn't want to like put anything out there. Like old school parents who just say, let's keep it in the house. Your uncle might have done something to you, but your uncle still has an active invitation to every Thanksgiving, every Mother's Day, and you have experienced something at the hands of your uncle, and they don't want to tell you. We all know old school people like that. If we do anything on this channel, it's cautionary tales to make sure you're not put into that situation. Lala says the adults shunned the 16-year-old. They most likely won't have a conversation with her about it, and bringing it to social media is the only way to force the family to talk about it. Lala, F the family. What was her name? Tori on Soul Food. The family F my husband. F the family. If you have an aunt who does not want to speak to you, but still speaks to your daddy, and your daddy don't have a problem with her, forget all of them. You should want people in your life who want to lift you up. You should want people in your life who want to embrace your imperfections. You should want people in the life that if you were an innocent 16-year-old kid and something did not look or feel right, and the rest of your family decided to side with the aunt that doesn't want anything to do with you, and you are now shunned, move around. It's 2024, about to be 2025. You don't need people, family members, friends. You don't need anything in your life that is not going to uplift you or wants to see you evolve or do better. F them. My therapist says you really have to focus on your self-preservation. That is one thing that I'm learning about myself. I will put myself out there for other people, and it may not necessarily be ever reciprocated. And some of the people may not have my best interest at heart, but you just get all of these ties to people and you feel connected, and that like they're your friends, they're your whatever. F it. If your father saw that this man did something negative to you and he didn't take a stand against his sister and the man, and 16 years later you finally talk about it, put names on it. Because now you have looped us into the chat. This is Keke Palmer. We didn't know nothing about Keke Palmer's mom saying that Usher was bisexual until Keke's whatever baby daddy looped us into that. We don't need to be looped, but if you're going to name it, name it. Don't do that to the men in your family who did nothing to you. They don't deserve that. Oh man, it's on here. It's not on there.
So I'm just wondering what other people who have gone through this, how they decided to handle this sort of situation.
I absolutely agree with you, Life with Leah's soul sister, but she says that her therapist told her to do this. So if your therapist is the one guiding you, then your therapist should be the one that would give you maybe more of a structured way to do it, since you are choosing to do it for public consumption. that is a like that adds an element that most people really don't see. Once you have done this for public consumption, then you are going to get a level of critique. You're going to get a level of love. You're going to get a level of interaction from people who you don't know, you'll never know, but you have put it out there. So it would be for the therapist to help identify how she should navigate this. And I think, just from my opinion, that this is sloppy on the therapist part. Sorry, I told you we're not being politically correct today. We can want to amplify survivors' voices, but at the same time, there are times that, like this situation, you know, Tamar's husband is not necessarily innocent. He was over there biting on Tamar like she was a turkey leg and chasing after Miss Braxton, but we don't know. We got Gabe that's dead, Tawanda's husband, who they really trashed. They trashed Tracy's husband. We have, well, Tony's people. Nobody really ever says anything about her ex-husband or Birdman because it's Tony. But you guys get the point. Putting that on a black man's back that did not do this to you is dangerous.
Did you go about telling your truth? And how do you tell your truth in a way that honors you? And I think the reason why I'm addressing it now so much is because I'm getting older. And if I want to have kids, and especially if I want to have girls, like, I don't want to still be in that space and place and in that situation and just even having to deal with it, you know? And so next year I'm planning to go to the US and I'm planning to like confront a lot of things because my sister passed away. Like, I've just I fled the country because I was needing to save my own self and my own life. And when I say all of this, this is not.
Now, hearing that, I want to say more power to you. If getting out of the country and getting away from things that were toxic in your life, like families and situations that you might have been going through, I don't see any issue with that. I don't even think that was running away. I think that that was self-preservation. If she didn't have the tools to handle what was being done to her by her family, I say go for it. And if you need to approach them and say, I think this was effed up and you stifled me in this way, go for it. Speak directly. But when you're talking to a public platform and you're putting whatever this is on men who didn't do this, I just don't think it's okay. But let's get into Taya says, this was the issue that I had with Christian Key's claims. Too serious of a topic to be out here playing hangman with the internet. He specifically said a black billionaire did it to me, and there was not too many black billionaires. So it put a target on all the black billionaires' backs to the point where there is a black billionaire whose, I guess, like friend is a straight shooter, and they reached out to the black billionaire to check out my channel to make sure I had not said anything that could potentially get me in legal trouble. So you just never know who's listening. You never know any of that. But I don't like it. I don't like it. Yes. When you hear that you have been put personally through a personal phone call on a black billionaire's radar as somebody who might have said something that could have defamed them, even though I was comfortable with what I said, it's just one of those things where I'm like, you just never know. There's only a small list of black billionaires, so that's why I didn't like what Christian Keys did. But let's move on to Audrea. So shout out to Audrea English. This is one of the Diddy victims who I still maintain is actually a victim. Now, there's been a lot of back and forth about whether she's a victim or not. By the truest sense of the word, if you were a sex worker who crossed state lines, then you were sex trafficked. That's just it. I don't have to go back and forth with anybody. People can feel like she was a willing participant, whatever the case may be. Once your employer as a sex worker crosses you over state lines, you are now being sex trafficked, period. Now we can go back and, I mean, people in the chat can go back and forth, but if you don't know who she is, it's a little
Mustard on a beat, ho.
Now, it said where Jaguar right, did she?
Okay. So she is now in rehab. So shout out to her. I don't know or care anything about anything other than the fact that she is trying to get better. I have talked about the fact that I did not like that she was on Tasha K doing the interview drinking. I've talked about the fact that there are things that I feel like she needs to retract. One of those things being what she allegedly heard about what Diddy did to his daughters. I don't take that back. I never cared about whether it was politically correct to question a survivor about that. That was not her story to tell. But let's get into her now coming forward about Lamesha and where she's at now. Because her attorney is the one who suggested she go to rehab. So I think she finally has an attorney who can work with her, an attorney who maybe has a better dialogue with her, because it was not working with the Ariel Mitchell kid, or I think Tyrone.
Thank you, Brady. I appreciate it. You know, I'm proud too, because certain people that don't understand are clowning about who goes to rehab for wine and weed. Like, okay, we have Alcohol Anonymous, right? AA, right? So that's my main issue. I'm in here for alcohol. Okay, so let's just leave it there. People having a hard time. It's a blessing that they have something where okay, yes. Yeah, going back to that, this facility is very, very, very nice. It's extremely beautiful, on the beach, good food. They have events. We get free time. I get my phone certain hours of the day, which, obviously I'm on here now. And then we go to class, during the week, and learn a lot about life and your thoughts and healthy ways to process things and your feelings, emotions. The kids, they go to their own areas, and there's treatment and counseling for kids as well.
So I know people have been saying, why is her kid there? If there's counseling for the kid who has gone through everything her life has been a roller coaster since she came out about Diddy. Her husband and her are no longer together. So she is basically a single mom who is willing to go to rehab and allow for her kid to get counseling. I say go for it. Let me see. It's supposed to be going to dinner. Okay.
Amazing, because everyone here, there's women here that from all walks of life, all nationalities. There's girls in here that just are fresh out of prison, ordered by the judge to be here. There's girls even here that, got a DUI and even killed people. You know what I mean? It go all the way up to that level. So the fact that I'm in here for alcohol and weed, like, they clown me in here. They're like, why are you here? Like, because the girls in here, and they give you time to detox. So when we first got here, they gave me 5 days to detox. And boy, I tell you, it was rough, because my anxiety level was, through the roof. I was like, well, I'm getting better. But I have such big lawyers. So on or before January 9th, my new filing is going to pop out. It's going to get a lot of press, because there's new charges that weren't in my old complaint and additional names. And I'm going to be like Oprah Winfrey. Everybody that defamed me, everybody that lied on me publicly, everybody that recorded me without my knowledge. In California, you can't do that state. You got to let the person know you're recording. And people who recorded me and went live and played it to the world, there's no way to deny the fact they did that. Like, they basically told on themselves, and that's cybercrime. Everybody's getting a lawsuit. I'm going to be like Oprah Winfrey. You get a lawsuit. You get a lawsuit. You get a lawsuit. Like I'm giving away cars, because that's what they wanted. I didn't do nothing to nobody. It's life, right? So, I have very, very good, powerful, well-known lawyers who specialize in sex trafficking and my issues. So I'm not lying. I have lawyers now. I was without lawyers for quite a long time. I was representing myself, but I have officially signed on to a whole new legal team. I have lawyers. Jenna laughing at me. Yes, narcissistic behavior, Brandy, is very strange. We're gonna get back to him. We're gonna be getting on him and off of him. Who else is here? I see Jenna passing out lawsuits like free cheese back in the day. Hell yeah. They ain't got to get in the county line. Shit. Everybody.
I don't really think that everybody's going to be getting sued. A lot of people say that. I don't really think that. I think the best path in life is most times just to move on. Don't look backward. Because y'all remember.
The grave you dig for me, you better dig a double one because you'll fall in it first.
I was always a grown adult. You know what I mean? When I moved to New York, I was 24 years old. She says that she was kidnapped at 11 years old. I wasn't there. Well, you guys send me a message, ask me a question. Oh, Miss Maiden, hey, what happened between you and Lamesha? All right, what happened between me and Lamesha is, now, I believe that Lamesha is a victim. But I do also believe that Lamesha has, and we all do have issues that we need to get corrected. You know, she, according to her, you know, she was kidnapped and as a minor, you know, taken advantage by Diddy. I was always a grown adult. You know what I mean? When I moved to New York, I was 24 years old. She says that she was kidnapped at 11 years old. I wasn't there, so I can't say she was or she wasn't. You know, this is what she says, allegedly, that she was kidnapped from Texas and brought to New York at 11 years old. But what I don't understand is that she said she got away from him, went back home to her grandma's house. But when she got back, since nobody really cared that she was gone and they were going back to treating her like the 12 or 13-year-old she was, that she figured it'd be better at least being around celebrities or people with money. If I'm gonna be treated bad or whatever they were doing to her at home, she figured I might as well get back around the celebrities. So she left her grandma's house again. According to her, I was not there. I can't confirm, you know, but according to her, she said she left her grandma's house. She hitchhiked. And in her hitchhike mission, she ran into some people that were drug dealing and knew Diddy and took her all the way back to Diddy's house. Now, if that is true, then the second time it's on you, right? And you're older now. But the reason why I'm not cool with Lamesha anymore is because I think Lamesha, if that happens to her, she's just trying to take down every adult that was.
Now, guys, now she's saying if that happened to her, she was an integral part in Lamesha having credibility. She was a big factor in that because we know that Adria was there. So Adria and Lamesha were basically unstoppable with what they could say because all Lamesha had to do was say, you saw me there, and now it gets instant credibility. So she will need to have some penance for this. Hopefully in whatever program she's in, she'll need to come forward and acknowledge what role she played in all of this.
Was there that didn't save her in her mind. Now, she claims that at the party, we ended up in a bathroom and she told me that she was 14 years old. And I told her, well, tell him you're 17. The reason why this doesn't make any sense to me is because, number one, I don't recall that conversation. I think she wanted me just to agree with it and like just say, you know, just agree with it, or, you know. And at first I was just like, well, if you said we, you know, talk, then I ain't gonna say we didn't. I just don't remember it. But she claims that I said, when she told me she was 14, that I said, well, tell him you're 17. The reason why that doesn't make any sense to me is because.
Is it a coincidence? Is it a coincidence? I ask you. Is it a coincidence?
Oh, no, it's not a coincidence. This was definitely something that they will need to atone for. Like, they will definitely need to come forward. Lamesha and Adria, it's not too late to retract some of the things that you said. I always speculated that Lamesha got the story about Diddy's twins and Diddy from Lamesha. I always suspected that's where she got that from. You need to retract that. The stuff about Lamesha saying that there was money in the bag and that's why Diddy had gone after Cassie, you need to retract that. Any of these things that change the narrative for people who were actually in these situations, you need to retract the shit. Honestly, there's no getting around that. And I hope that her program allows her to continuously come out and relay the actual truths. This is a truthful moment coming from Audrea. Let's go back real quick.
She's just trying to take down every adult that was there that didn't save her in her mind. Now, she claimed
in her mind
that at the party, we ended up in a bathroom and she told me that she was 14 years old. And I told her, well, tell him you're 17. The reason why this doesn't make any sense to me is because, number one, I don't recall that conversation. I think she wanted me just to agree with it and like just say, you know, just agree with it, or, you know. And at first I was just like, well, if you said we, you know, talk, then I ain't gonna say we didn't. I just don't remember it. But she claimed that I said, when she told me she was 14, that I said, well, tell him you're 17. The reason why that doesn't make any sense to me is because if you're there and you have, you know, you were gone, you were home safe, and you came back, and now you're there at the party, that means they know how old you are, right? If he knew you were 11 when he took you, and you know now you're 14 or 13, who would I be going to tell him you're 17? Like, would I be going to Diddy and say, tell Diddy you're 17 when he knows you're 11? You know, he knew you were 11 and now you're 13. Like, did I go to, who would you tell me to go tell that to? Go tell Denzel you're 17. Like, so that doesn't make any sense when she says, she told me that she was 14 in the bathroom. And I said, well, tell everybody you're 17. Because 17 is still a minor. So that doesn't make any sense to me. And who would I be telling? I don't understand who I was supposed to go tell back then. And I was drugged too. Everybody was drunk and drugged and a zombie. So I just don't understand when I'm working. I'm on contract to work. You know what I mean? I'm not there as a party goer attending. I'm there as hired entertainment. So I'm at work. So according to her, I was
So we now have a piece of this puzzle. I listened to her whole live, and basically there was a part that I thought was extremely interesting. We don't have to play it, where she said that Lamesha reached out to her to help her remember some things that had happened to her. And so I started thinking, it's really easy just to say Lamesha's a liar. Lamesha's a liar. But I think we've now entered a space in all of this Diddy world where there might be people who have challenges, who truly believe some of these things. And I don't think we have addressed that yet. There might be people who have consumed so much of this Diddy shit, stories, conjecture, abuse claims, the news media, YouTubers talking about it, that they honestly feel like they were a part of the space. Nobody is talking about that. Lamesha might actually believe that she was a part of this. The other thing is she might just be a grifter. Who knows? But I don't think that we are addressing the elephant in the room. She was able to consume all of these videos, all of these news articles, and just kind of like regurgitate it on camera. She might literally just need help. And, you know, I reached out to Sean. If Sean, gave her the message, I don't know. But Sean did say, thank you. So we don't know. And I'm not here to diagnose anybody. But at the end of the day, Lamesha's story was not true. And Lamesha's story was not Lamesha's story to tell. And like I said, with Audrea, you will need to, there are things that you kind of have to atone for. Now she's a content creator. Her channel is Adria Cherie Marcy English. I can't say that I'm going to watch 2.5 hours of her content all the time, but I will say that if she's in a 12-step program and she's going to need to, make amends and write her letters and stuff like that, that's stuff that she definitely needs to address, especially the stuff about Diddy's daughters. If you heard that from Lamesha, then you definitely need to retract that. You need to retract it.
Supposed to, I guess, grab her by the hand and run up out of there, which I didn't do. So because of that, I guess I belong in jail. And then so my new legal team said, I need some clarity. And they showed up at my hotel and said, good, guess what? We found a facility, a beautiful facility that'll take you and your son in. And we found a place to, for the dogs in the van. And I agreed to go. I wasn't no intervention where I took off running and, they had to chase me down. I was like, heck yeah, if my son can go with me, I'll go. Because number one, I need some therapy. I ain't gonna lie. I've been through a lot. So, I need some people, people that are, gonna listen, because most people don't want to let me get it out. You know what I mean? They have their own opinions. They call, everybody calling you a liar. That weird YouTuber did not, I started out cool with him. I was gonna give him a bunch of exclusives. I did a video with him and then.
Nope, not talking about other YouTubers. Another piece of advice. Don't get in the beef sector. Stop talking about other YouTubers. That only gives them more fuel to come after you more, and then they just start making money off of videos. So focus on your health, focus on your son, focus on your lawsuit. Don't look backwards.
One person saying,
"Body was knocked out," right? That's funny, right? And then my sativa that keeps you up is called No Diddy. Get it? Like, you know what I mean? Keeps you awake. So no Diddy, you didn't get for it. And then the hybrid is called the after party. You feel me? I can't make this shit up, but it's true. You feel me? And so I got my 3 strains coming. Shout out to Courtney B. Courtney B is growing it for me. Courtney Burgess, that was once represented by the Little Mermaid. I'm not sure if they're working with each other anymore. I think they're.
I don't know if Courtney is the best for anything. Maybe avoid him too. And I don't know, maybe I dreamed this. I'm gonna have to go back and look for a video, but I swear I saw a video where Courtney says he's done and he's out the game. I hope you avoid Courtney Burgess at all costs, because if you don't, then that tells me that you still can't spot a scammer.
That relationship has fizzled out. Yeah, I'm not even gonna bring up the Little Mermaid. That's a whole nother video that I have to do one just dedicated to that. There's a reason why she's not representing me anymore, you guys. She publicly withdrew because I fired her first. I have the messages to prove it, the emails to prove it, and she wanted to get ahead of it and withdraw before I could fire her publicly. But I was never even going to go.
Courtney is the dude who allegedly wrote the Kim Porter book and then gave it to the white guy who named it Jamal Atwood, which was one of Tupac's alleged name. The point is, Courtney Burgess is definitely, in my opinion, a grifter. And Courtney Burgess was receiving a fee when he was going on these platforms to talk about this book that nobody technically knows is accurate or not. I personally do not believe it's accurate. And I personally believe that anybody who goes on a platform, claims to be doing it for Kim Porter, but has no desire to actually help Kim Porter's family, like the children or any of that, I'm so glad we moved on. I'm so glad that we can put like a bow on this and move back into the actual lawsuits, the actual claims, the actual back and forth between Busby and Jay-Z's attorney. But it was important that we put a pin in this specifically.
Go public with it. So she withdrew and then had the nerve to contact some counsel. I was talking to, basically they were go fuck somebody for real. You know what I mean? I'd never. So her mind, that's what I mean. That's why when I saw that post with the psychedelics, I'm like, this all makes sense. That's why she's talking crazy, talking, you know what I mean? She said she remembered Jaguar and Natanya doing all this and that. I can't vouch for nothing she's saying. Then the icing on the cake is when she said she's the girl.
Specifically speaking on Natanya, you, Lamesha, need to take back any claim that you made that Natanya did something to you sexually. It went way too far. There would never even be a space in the time where Natanya was in a lawsuit with Diddy. Now she's hanging out at a Diddy party. That's when it went way too far.
On the video in the studio, and then they unblurred the face, and it's that white Australian lady. You know what I mean? It's the ex-wife or ex-girlfriend of some.
She's not Australian.
Famous hockey player. So I mean, when that dropped, you know what I mean? I was like, oh man, you ain't gonna take my credibility down with you. So I'm like, you prove your case, I'm gonna prove mine. When I initially.
Wait, what? Audrea. It's too late. The court of public opinion is already out. You associated yourself and your case with Lamesha. The only way to actually get out, or not get out because you're in the mix with her, but the only way to truly separate yourself from Lamesha is to fully come clean. The fact that you are still on here saying, that might be her story, when good and goddamn well that girl didn't come to you. Y'all had a special moment in the bathroom where she told you to tell him she was 17. That didn't happen. You will need to address this shit head on.
Mustard on a beat, how?
Now, it said where Jaguar right, did she?
I love the mustard on the beat. Yeah, but anyway, I gotta go. Y'all, I expect that we will be seeing more videos of her, Adria, where she gives a little bit more each time, but all of those things that I said have to get retracted. Should get retracted ASAP, period. You got to, because some of that stuff was foul. Kudos to you for taking your attorney's advice, going into a program, getting your son therapy while you're in the program. All of that is great, but that does not make amends for some of the stuff that was said about other victims. So anyway, I got to run. See you guys later. I'll try to be in tomorrow. I'm also traveling tomorrow, so I'll try to do something. It might be pre-recorded. I don't know. Y'all have a good night. Stay safe, and I'll see you later. Oh, we could do it one more time.
Mustard on a beat, hoe.
Now, it said where Jaguar right, did she